All right, welcome back to Comedy or Worse. I'm here with my very special... You're making me laugh already. Here with my very special guest.
Jim Pine.
Yay, it's Jim Pine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started pointing at people because, you never know how to pronounce their name. And I started actually telling them what I was going to do ahead of time because one person didn't get it.
So you had to tell them when you pointed at them.
Yeah, they didn't know what I wanted.
Wow.
So.
That's an interesting person. My name is Jim Pine, but it's James Pine, actually.
Oh, okay.
So
that's,
I have one of those weird names.
That's the kind of the first question you're already getting into. This is great.
Oh wow! See? I didn't even look down.
Yeah. I have the questions here and some random things just to throw them off, But yeah.
Interesting. Supposed to look at you, or am I supposed to look at the camera?
Whatever feels natural.
Okay. All right.
You can even look at that camera, even though we're not going to use that video. Whatever.
Gotcha.
So, are you using a stage name, or is that?
No, I'm just, your name's James. Not a lot of people named James in this country go by James.
Sure.
So I grew up as Jamie in one half of my family. The other half of my family, I was Jay.
Wow.
Like Jay. And then when I got old enough, like 10 or something, I wanted to be called Jim. I was like, I don't want to either, because I had two different families calling me different names, and I was like, I want to go by Jim, because I thought that sounded more like adult.
Yeah.
Jamie crushed me, because we're the same age. Think about being 5 years old. Who was a popular Jamie? Do you remember or no? Jamie Summers.
Oh.
The bionic woman.
Oh, right. Yeah, Jamie.
That bitch ruined me, bro. I was in tears and on the bus. This kid's calling me the bionic woman.
Oh my god! Wow, that's very interesting because I didn't ever think that. Obviously, you were at some point a child, and you had more emotions that were right on the edge, and could even get teased. Wow.
Oh yeah, I was a very emotional child.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm an emotional adult. I just don't show it.
Yeah, you just act like.
I act like I don't have it. I act really tough, but I have tons of emotion.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense that you're human.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have so much that I have to hide it. How about that?
Oh.
I can cry easily.
Really? That's
if I watch something really special happen, really nice.
Wow.
That'll get. Usually, good things get me more than bad. Bad things don't make me cry. It's usually really, really incredible moments for people. Watching somebody have an incredible moment that'll make me tear up. Watching old people with really young kids or something, and just go, oh my God, it's so special.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm about to cry.
Wow.
Get it together.
That's really cool. And then, why do you think that sad things don't make you cry?
I don't know why. I didn't even really think about that until I just said it. Usually it's not sad. I don't cry because I'm sad. It doesn't naturally happen. But good things happening, special sports moments. It couldn't even be my team. Just any. I'm like, oh my God. I somehow just feel the emotions of it all, and I'm like, oh, fucking. Yeah. So I don't know why. I never even thought about it before.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I kind of like that better. At least when you're a kid, no, but I'm in touch with special moments. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. So how did you get into comedy?
I took 5 grams of mushrooms.
Wow.
And out of that crazy trip, the one thing I came out with was you got to go do stand-up one time. You got to try, because I always wanted to do it, but I don't have the time. I have kids. When I lived in New Jersey, it'd be 40 minutes to drive to an open mic. I didn't even know about open mics at one point. So I just was by the time I went to go try to start it, I had little kids, and it just wasn't possible. For me, it didn't seem possible, and it really wasn't. Right. And then I took 5 grams of mushrooms, and I was like, what are you doing, bro? You're going to die. And never have tried this thing you've always wanted to try.
Yeah.
So go do it one time, jackass. And that was that. It was the Madhouse on February 23rd, 2017. So I just hit my anniversary the other day, 8 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish I would have started earlier. Do you wish
Of course.
you started earlier?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
When I moved to PB in 1994, there was actually an improv on Garnett.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody remembers that. But there was an improv on Garnett Ave, right where it's now the Backyard Grill or whatever, PB Backyard, I think it's called. That's where Moondoggies was. Wow, and that's where the improv was. So I could have been doing it when I first moved here in 94, but I just didn't know that you had to go. I thought you had to be born and you're Richard Pryor.
Right.
I never was like, oh, this is like a craft you work at. I thought you just had to be Andrew Dice Clay. You know, I was like, oh,
sure,
that's it.
Yeah, you just was born that way.
Yeah. So I wish I started earlier too.
Yeah.
But here we are.
This is true.
Here we are.
Yeah. So, what is like your earliest memory?
Earliest memory? Whoa. It's hard to know which one's the earliest.
Well, you can think of obviously. I'm not going to group it. Oh, you said other podcasts. This was earlier.
I'm just trying to think like which memory is the earliest one, because it's like, you know, you're just small in all of them. You're like, it would probably be like when I was like 3 or something. I remember getting like an electric piano for Christmas, and I put my mom's like sunglasses on. She had these like big sunglasses, the 70s, and so I put those on and thought I was Elton John, and was like playing piano and shit. And,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's like kind of like one of my. It seems like the earliest memories I have.
Oh yeah.
Like
that's
that.
Nice.
Those big Christmases or something like that.
Is there any like photos of that?
There is a photo somewhere.
Yeah, that's just kind of interesting because when I ask people, a lot of times the earliest memory revolves around a photo too.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's like this thing where it's like, as you say that you're not even in the moment, you're not able to form the memory perfectly, and then a photo, and then later on you're a little bit older when you are able to, and you can look at the photo and kind of like reconstruct.
Yeah.
You know, like the memory.
You don't even know if you're right with the reconstruction. Exactly. You're just like, oh yeah, that's how it was, and the carpet was this color. And
right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like a photo could spurn it because otherwise I don't know what the earliest one is. You know?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times it's like really tragic things or really big things. I woke up in the middle of the night and then we went to Disneyland or something like that.
Yeah. I bet I have earlier memories that I didn't stand out, but being just like scared of the dark. Like being really little, probably before that, but I don't know when it was. Just like remember being in the dark, and I always thought there was like a monster outside my door because the door was open, and I was like, like the shadow. There was like a shadow or something.
Yeah.
And that would probably be my earliest memories I can really think of. But yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's super cool. So, kind of following along, what was your family life growing up?
I have a mom and a dad. They're both alive still. They had me when my mom was like 17. My dad was 18. Or he's about to turn 18 or something. But so they were like in school, high school still, and had me. Wow. So we were really poor. Like, as it happened, like 17-year-olds have a whole bunch of money. Yeah. And just growing up really poor. But but it was like, I grew up in New Jersey, southern New Jersey. Actually, I grew up in the Pine Barrens in a trailer park called Pinewood Estates on Pinewood Drive.
Interesting.
So I thought we were rich because my last name is Pine and everything around me is Pine.
Makes sense, we live here.
I'm like, oh, bitch, we're rich. They named this shit after us. And then it's like you grow up later, you're like, oh, we were poor. I lived in a trailer park.
Wow.
But it was like I had a really good life. I had a good family life. I don't think I was ever abused, really. I grew up with like a lot of outdoor stuff, go out woods riding in the woods and fishing and things like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I had a good family life, and then my parents got divorced at 5. Oh, wow. And that shattered my world. And
then from there. Your fault?
I probably did then, because you just want it to not happen.
Sure.
So you think if you don't think it's your fault, you think it's probably your fault because you can't keep them together or something. Like, why can't they just stay? Or something like that. Yeah. I don't particularly remember thinking it was my fault.
Okay. Did you have brothers
but it was
and
bad. No, I have a bunch of half sisters, but they're all much younger than me.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Let's see. So once you started comedy, did you get addicted to it right away?
Yes. I mean, the first time was like,
wow.
I was on stage walking off, did the 5-minute open mic, and
5 minutes, wow.
It used to be 5 minutes up there, and before I was walking off, that memory I remember very specific. It's like my foot was in the air, I was taking my steps to walk off, and I was like, you're, and a voice just went, "You're doing this the rest of your life." And it was almost like, holy shit, you're doing this the rest of your life, dude.
Yeah.
And walked off, and it wasn't good or anything, obviously. But it didn't matter. It was like, I was like, oh, I belong here. That's what the feeling was.
Nice.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm where I belong.
Right away.
Yes, cool. Right away. And I'd never performed in my entire life.
Did you ever listen to like comedy podcasts?
All the time. That's how I knew the route eventually. Like, you got to go to open mics, and you got to grind.
Sure.
God bless Joey Diaz. And honestly, Howard Stern. Because before podcasts, Howard Stern would have a lot of comics in as guests.
Yeah.
And they might talk about the comic life, or it might be the comics on the show. What'd you do last night? Oh, we did this. We had to go drive to a show there. We did an open mic.
Right.
I'm like, open mics? What's this? So I started learning about it. And
that's super cool.
I was completely addicted right away. Like,
nice.
Right away. Yeah. 100%.
That's so good that even if you didn't really do good, didn't really bomb, but you just kind of did okay and still got addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
It was more like, this is where I belong than like, oh, I did so good, my ego. It was like non-ego based thing. It was like strictly from my psyche, was just like, oh, you found home.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with addiction. Yeah, exactly.
Well, whatever. It is an addiction in a way. I mean,
right.
It's crazy.
It's like you found home, so obviously you're going to keep coming home.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? You're addicted to going home, people. You didn't realize it, did you? Yeah. So what is your writing process for comedy?
I don't. I barely write. I write ideas, and then I try to go find the joke in the idea on stage generally. I will I will lightly write things out, and if I can get there writing, I get there. But I like to challenge myself on stage sometimes. Yeah. And just through open mics, go fuck around, just completely mess around and see what happens, and then like, oh, I found it. I found the answer to the puzzle.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah, the last time I wrote was a couple of years ago, where I would sit down for like an hour and a half, and I wrote like my best jokes ever.
Really?
Yeah, so of course I should be writing.
Oh, okay.
Anytime I do sit down and write, I always come up with really good jokes.
Wow, that's so cool.
And then I just don't do it again.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because like I feel like in the past when I would like really try it, I'm going to sit down and write, it just was all garbage. But I wonder if I'd try it again. Because now, like, it just, whatever comes to me naturally, I'll just, like, put it in my phone, put it in the cloud, And then I have been starting to, like, try to, like, just go up with an idea and figure it out on stage as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, honestly, it's kind of a lazy way of doing it, the way I do it, or the way you're saying you might do it. Right. There's no, we should all be writing for an hour and a half every day. Because you're right, it's all garbage, but then all of a sudden, because you went down the street so many different directions, and you're staying on path, and then boom, you just find these, gems.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think what I keep trying to have to remind myself to do is not just that. The other side is like you're writing on stage, so you say something on stage, like you should be recording everything and do video as soon as you can. And then like watch it back and like see what you had done, because like you won't always remember all the tags or all the
I do that a lot with audio, because I could always listen on my way home from like my sets, and then on the ride back to Poway, I'd be able to listen to all my comedy a couple times. All right, there's that new tag I just found right there, boom boom boom, and sometimes write it down. Most of the time I just kind of remember them, and then what I don't remember gets away. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So so you moved to Austin recently.
Yes.
Has anything about your writing process changed, or?
No, I just can't do new stuff as much now because I'm not going to as many open mics. So when I perform on shows, I have to bring my best material every time because it's, first impressions. So, so I'm like under the gun in that way, where I have started to write in Austin a little bit and find a little time and wrote some new jokes and stuff like that. So, I've had to. I'm like, oh my God, I can't go on stage and just screw around anymore. Like I have to respect this time. And so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. So who is the funniest person in your life right now? It could be anybody.
It doesn't have to be a person I know, right? Or like a person I know?
It's a person that you know, yeah. It doesn't have to be a comedian.
Danny Ragu.
Oh, yeah.
He's the funniest fucking dude ever. Like, yeah, he's wild. That's what came to my mind, so I'll go with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because he's unbridled energy and the wild shit he'll say is like the kind of stuff I love. It's just I love goofy silliness that's dirty. But it's not like mean. It's like, let's just be goofy and silly and have fun. Yeah, so I'd say he might be the funniest person I know in my life. Even though he's not in my life. But I was with him last night and we had...
There we go.
We had too much fun.
Recency bias. This is great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who's the funniest person in your life?
Wait, what is going on right now? Who's the funniest person in my life?
Yeah, same question back at you.
A lot of times people ask me the same questions, but I don't think anyone has done this. Let's see, who's the funniest person in my life right now? I just talked to my sister over the phone. Mm-hmm. She doesn't do comedy. She's really funny.
Yeah.
Even unintentionally, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to call my youngest sister, Sarah, but she didn't answer, but she's super funny.
So your sisters are all funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Are they funnier than you?
I think that I try to be funny more. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, even though I'm not batting 1,000, I just probably, on average, will try to be funny more. Does that make sense?
They're more funny naturally, maybe?
Yeah.
Where you're like maybe trying to think of things to say? Or...
Yeah, I'm just constantly puns. And constantly trying to make, the world easier to deal with through comedy. Yeah.
That's good. No, I'm laughing at you. I was laughing at me. I was thinking how, I might not be making the world a better place through my comedy.
Well, I mean, don't have to necessarily make...
Our comedy is very different. You're more happy. You have a happier type of...
I'll just tell you, I think one of the reasons I'm, feel like I'm on a slower path in comedy is because I want to try everything. Mm-hmm. So I might go up one day. Well, right now I've been trying to go up and talk in my normal voice and be and then explain to people why I started off doing comedy as a character, nervousness, and friends and family wouldn't know I'm joking, so I would go into character. Then, you're just joking. Okay. And then I just recently figured out that as a teenager, my voice took a very long time to deepen at all. And I literally I was first, and then someone else, their voice changed, and mine's still cracking. You know what I mean? Double the time. Okay. For a very long time. So for a while, I was like, well, what is my voice anyway? Because I would really have to concentrate on sounding normal. Okay. So there's all these things that I don't think I'll ever stop doing different voices, because it's just fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to see somebody that's really good at controlling their anxiety on stage? This girl, she's blowing up in Austin right now, Christina Marie, and she's just you could see she's her voice is almost cracking, and you could see she's almost shaking a little. but she somehow just giggles a little and she tells naughty jokes, and they're so good. Like she just had a joke over 1 million, like way over, like pop, huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, check her out.
All right, I definitely will. So I ask everybody this question. I don't always know the answer to it, but when did we meet?
When did we meet?
Yeah.
I don't. Parking lots? No, before parking lot mics. Okay, here at Madhouse. I don't know when. Yeah, I wouldn't know when. Yeah. It's all kind of a blur to me. Like when I can kind of see when people came in, but I forget very often.
Oh yeah. It's not some kind of test. Like
no.
Very often, I don't even remember. If they say.
Do you remember us meeting or no?
I probably saw you on stage first.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it was just probably Madhouse, open mics over and over. And then you eventually started working here probably or something like that.
Yeah. A few months in, I started working here.
Were you you were in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You were in the I was like, wait, did you do door with me? I'm like, oh no, you were in the kitchen and then you moved your way all the way up.
Yeah.
From the bottom to the top.
Well, almost the top. Coming for you.
him and Rudy.
Rudy really feels like he's the backbone of this place.
He probably is.
Like if we don't have it's like sometimes it's like, oh, Rudy's not here, so can you guys help? Like, oh, okay, yeah, of course. All right. So obviously this is yes, but have you ever traveled to do comedy?
Yes, I have. Back in the day, I traveled to like Vegas to do some shows. I've traveled around California to do shows, and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Now I've traveled my whole life to go to Austin and live there. And now I'm back in San Diego traveling to do shows.
Oh, yeah.
I traveled to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I tried to get you on the podcast. I don't know what he said, but I will read his lips later.
I think I said thank you, or I don't know. I didn't say anything bad.
I tried to get you on the podcast before you moved to Austin, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, we couldn't find. I was so jammed trying to leave.
Oh yeah.
This guy tonight, he's actually now the feature tonight on the show I'm on. James Schrader.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. Very nice guy. So do you have hobbies or passions that are not related to comedy?
Yeah, I play Dungeons and Dragons. I play Frisbee golf.
Oh, cool.
Like sports, watching sports and shit like that. But I'd say it'd probably be like Dungeons and Dragons, Frisbee golf.
Oh, yeah. So you're able to play it in Austin?
Oh, yeah. My house is set up for D&D.
Nice.
Me and Patrick have it's crazy, dude. We have hundreds of minis, and our collections have come together.
Wow.
Instead of a living room where you'd have a couch and all that, we have our living rooms a bunch of tables put together with maps on them at all times. Wow. And then our dining room is where there's a couch in it, like with a bookshelf and a coffee table you can sit at. We don't even have a TV. We just have a D&D set up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So we're deep in the D&D.
Are you playing like every week?
Yeah. I mean, we've gone pretty crazy playing. And we're playing the new D&D 5.5, so that's been fun. Yeah, and the whole time. Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's really fast paced, and everybody's a little bit more powerful, and then the monsters are more powerful. It's great. It's great. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah, I'm in a group with people that from LA. None of them are comics. I've met them before. Started doing comedy and meeting once a month to do D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun. I guess what are we doing? I guess we're still kind of doing 5.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of looking into the new stuff.
Yeah. Most people stuck around with the 5.
Yeah.
Me and Patrick just dove in because it was us too, and we're like, let's figure it out together.
Yeah.
So.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So how big is the group right now?
We don't really have a group that's consistent. Okay. We are trying to put together a podcast, like a D&D themed podcast,
nice.
Audio only. We're kind of not interviewing, but we're trying to get people that are into it for that. But I've found D&D is thriving in Austin.
Wow.
There's a huge community in Austin of Dungeons and Dragons players. of people that are comics. There's like a lot of comics that play, I've now found out. Nice. And then there's bars where you can go. There's a place called the Tiny Minotaur where you go, and it's like a reenactment every day. It's open, and you can be a member of the place, or you can just go in and get a beer. And then they'll run games and do stuff out of there. There's other places like that too. It's thriving. There's live D&D podcasts, like pretty often happening.
You can watch in person?
Yeah, you can go and watch in person.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Patrick and I got involved in one group that kind of does live play. But we were just playing the group. I just didn't really enjoy it because they were playing by like Humblewood or something, some other rules that I just was bored with. Okay. I didn't like it. So, yeah. But it's a crazy community, dude. It's such an artsy place that I guess that's how it's happened. I don't know.
That makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was music and comedy, but D&D also.
Weirdly, like a lot of D&D there. Like compared to this town where there's like 2 maybe D&D like bookstores. Yeah. There's like 8.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, it's crazy. And then there's these places that do reenactments that are like businesses. It's pretty, and they have like things, and people come play music, and you can play D&D there. Or they might have theme nights of stuff to do, and pirate night, all this different stuff. Yeah, it's freaking crazy. And then there's also it's really big there is Ren fairs, Renaissance fairs, which is kind of D&D adjacent. Yeah. And that's huge there. There's a city, like a whole town built called Sherwood Forest.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's like outside of Austin. That's not operational not 365, sure. But it's like it starts up when it's not cold out anymore. Like right now, it's about to go, and I think you pay like $250 if you want the big membership, and you could leave your RV on site for like 5 months or something. And just like every weekend go out there and hang out at the Ren Fair, and you already paid for everything. You live in your freaking RV that you leave there. Yeah.
For $250 a year?
It's like $250. No, I think for each season. So twice a year you'd have to pay that, I think. But still, like $500 just to park your RV somewhere.
That's pretty cheap rent, man.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's this big Ren Fair community also in Austin that's adjacent.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And I really like Ren Fair, so I've stumbled into my little haven.
Yeah, I love Ren Fair.
Yeah.
It's so fun to go and dress up. It's so much funner when you're able to dress up.
Yeah, these are all like, they're deep in the, everybody's pretty much dressed up. They just have one last weekend. It's like a special name, and that kicks off Sherwood for the season. And it's all live action role play or whatever, that's LARPing or whatever. So it's all these people that show up to play under these rules to like go through these events and happenings. And I think it's called Nigel. I forget the name of it. I haven't been to it yet, but yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Do you go to the one in Escondido?
Never went to that one.
Oh, dude, it's great.
But I went to the one that's closer to like LA. I forget the name.
There's one up in LA that's bigger. That's like that city's built and stuff. The one in Escondido is excellent. I really suggest it. Okay, It'll be coming up in April. They usually do 2 or 3 weekends.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely want to go to one.
I go every year. It's so much fun. Everybody dresses up too. Like you don't feel out of place. You're like, oh, cool. Everybody's dressed up.
Oh yeah. Like definitely. I think the first time I went, I didn't have anything on my own, but I just rented some stuff.
Okay.
And then when I was going more often to the one that's closer to LA, I would having stuff I had bought, and then like through a bunch of moving, like I just got rid of it all.
Okay.
Or got rid of / lost it. Like freaking that tub hat, it's like in a place where it's like space is limited, and then like a trailer park, and they're like. This one dumpster area, you could just leave stuff there, and everybody knew to like take what they wanted, and then since it was next to the dumpster, like, and for a while, if just no one took anything, it would just be thrown away.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I got rid of a lot of stuff that way. But what are you gonna do?
Get new stuff, dude.
So, probably wouldn't. The old stuff wouldn't fit me anyway, right? So, right now, what are your goals in comedy?
To get funnier, travel more with it, get out on the road a little bit more. I think I'll be able to do that because there's so many towns around Austin. I can go out to Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, things like Fort Worth is Dallas, but yeah, different San Antonio. Get booked more. You know, it's all this. I'm just gonna say all this stupid shit. Like, I don't even get funnier. That's the first thing I said. Sure. And that's to me the most important thing is to keep getting funnier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay, sweet. So do you have like a favorite joke? It could be anybody's joke.
Favorite?
It comes to mind right now.
Yeah, Andy Grabert. There's a guy, Anthony Grabert. Was he around when you started? I don't think so.
Doesn't sound familiar.
He left. He got taken out of the scene at one point. And he had a joke that was so quick that when people ask me to tell a joke, like off on the street or something, like, oh, well, tell me a joke. You're a comedian. I never will tell my joke. I always just tell a different joke. And it's I'm trying not to say the N-word anymore, but I reneged. I just think it's so short, sweet, dangerous, and like clever. It's really clever, dude.
That's hilarious. Wow. That's a good one.
He'll be bleeping that out.
No. I had an N-word joke as Niagara Falls. Do you have like a favorite fan interaction? Either you were a fan of somebody or someone is a fan of you.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm bad at doing this stuff on spot. Now I have to think of which way to go. Thinking. Man, anytime I get off and you can see the joy in somebody's face, that makes me really happy to know, like, oh wow, this person. I'll try not to sound cheesy. Like this person, like they really enjoyed themselves. Their body is in a different state than when they walked in here. Like they have more oxytocin, and so like their body's on the feel good drugs right now, just from doing like jokes. So I just love that overall. Like you know, people that enjoy my comedy, it makes me really happy that they do. And for me, I don't really have. I can't think of one right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's a great answer. That's a very unique answer. Nice. So, what's your favorite place to do comedy?
American Comedy Company is freaking kill box. That room's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's like one of my favorites. The OR in Hollywood, I've only done it like 4 times, but that's been like I've felt really comfortable on that stage.
Nice.
Where I should have been really nervous, and it was like I was like, oh no, this room, like I don't know. So that I really like that room too. Austin has a lot of good rooms too. This place called Black Rabbit's amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sweet.
I just did the open mic at the Mothership like 2 or 3 weeks ago. My legs were shaking so bad because they put a list out. Right. And then 45 minutes later, the mic starts.
Wow, that's not a lot of time to prepare.
So hopefully we've already prepared, but it was more like my legs were shaking, and that eventually went away. But then the slow process, they bring you in as a group, and then they bring you in and put you in the back of the room. I had to go first, so we all know how much fun that is. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm nervous. Like I was nervous. Legs weren't shaking then by that time, but when it happened, I was like, my whole body was like shaking and trembling. I was like, wow. I'm going in the Mothership. Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did it go?
I went first, but I thought it went well, especially for going first. Sure. I got a laugh right away, and then I got laughs continuous throughout. They built the entire set, and then everybody else had great sets after. So it's like, or that's what I was told. So it went well. It went well. Okay. I trained. That's when you come up to tough parts in comedy. Like you asked where my favorite place like to have done stuff. I mean, Madhouse is really the favorite because it's what made me as tough as I am in comedy. Like this place carves you. It's like iron and iron. You know, it makes you better.
Yeah.
So when like I wasn't thinking of ACC when I had to go up at the Mothership, I was thinking of like all the fucking hard sets I've had to do at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego.
Yeah. That's
prepared you, Jim. Don't worry about it. Go do your jokes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Hell yeah.
So that was a milestone to get into it. At 53 years old, getting to do an open mic at the Mothership.
Oh yeah, who knows what's next?
Fuck.
Yeah, that's super cool. So it's like, are you trying every week to get on?
Yes. Yeah, I go and sign up every week. A couple hundred comics show up and sign up.
So do you know what the process is? Is it like they know your name, or is it random, or both?
It's 8. I'm just gonna say it's 18 people. It could be 16, but it's that amount of people. I would guess a quarter might be random. Like, I really don't know. This is all guess. Yeah. No, but I'm guessing a quarter to a half might be random. I doubt that much. Maybe a third is random, and then the rest is probably friends of Dorman that get their friends on, and then there's probably a selection of Adam Egget people where he might have them put him deeper in the show in the open mic to keep showcasing them and see how they do. Okay. So I guess there's probably that factor of like the doorman, Adam, and just randomly getting drawn.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So every open mic, there's people watching?
Yeah, like sold out.
Oh, I mean like the crowd, and then like workers and stuff.
Adam Eget's supposedly in the room every time. Because they used to do it 2 days a week, but then the word was like he didn't feel like sitting and watching 2 open mics. So, but who knows why? But that's like word on the street. Yeah. But he's there. He does watch. He watches everyone. I mean, it was the same in Hollywood when he was the booker there. He was watching every potluck and open mic.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the place. Mothership's the place to be right now in the world. Comedy Store, LA.
Yeah, for sure.
Cellar, New York.
Nice. So, what's the biggest audience you've performed for so far?
Might be those like Adam Pettit shows where he does that outdoor show where it's like 350 people or something.
Nice.
That might be it. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For some of my drive-up comedy shows I was doing, we were getting like 100 cars that paid, and those cars all had like, 2 to 5 people in them. So there could have been 500 people there, maybe even. There was those crowds. I mean, that was crazy how big those crowds were. But
yeah, I wish I could have gone out there more. But working in the kitchen at the Madhouse, keeping the place open.
Yeah.
Sacrifices. So, is there any other type of art besides comedy and D&D?
No.
All right.
Nope.
Cool. Would you ever do a character on stage?
Yeah, I like doing voices and all that. I just it's really hard to do.
Sure.
It's hard to go up there with a voice and then keep the voice going. Like if you try to do a British accent, try to do that for 3 minutes. It's fucking because you do it and then you're like, it just feels weird. So I don't know if I've ever done an actual character, but I do characters of myself, I guess.
Sure.
Or versions of myself, like maybe being angry or being this, but I haven't really tried anything specific. Yeah.
Super cool. So have you ever won like a comedy contest or anything like that?
Nope. I was in the Madhouse one, and I won a job out of it basically because we were doing good, and then Robert grabbed a couple of us, like me. Chris got hired the week before me. Chris Espinosa started the week before me, and then me and Josh started the same week. Josh Krebs.
Wow.
And that was me and Josh were on the same comedy competition when the Madhouse used to do that Monday one.
Yeah.
And I think I made it through the 3rd round, and then we got the jobs, and we had to drop out of the competition. So,
that's the bummer side, was you had to drop out.
I wasn't gonna probably go any further. I mean, it was just gonna be one more stage time, or I can go work at the club. It's like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the owners, he saw us.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the first time I did comedy on an open mic was at the Madhouse for the comedy contest, but it was at the
upstairs
mall, upstairs mall, and it was like on one of those Monday holidays, and I had no idea how to you know.
So that was your first open mic even?
Yeah, my first open mic.
Was a contest?
Yeah, well, I tried, like, when I was going to LA to, like, hang out with friends and play D&D, there was, like, Nerd Melt, which was in a comedy show in the back of a comic book shop. Okay. But I never got picked. Okay. You know, and I didn't know, how to, I didn't even Google. I should have just Googled stuff. I wish it goes back to wanting to start earlier. Yeah, I wish I would have done it. And then when I started, I was living in Oceanside, and I would go to, like, besides after that, and like when I actually started comedy, then I was like doing open mics in Oceanside, like a mixed mic and such, and then just gravitate towards San Diego, more comedy. But it's kind of cool. There's like a lot more comedy in North County.
Yeah, when I started, there was almost nothing up there, and it slowly built. Corey Rojas was like a big part of that. He was doing a lot of consistent shows up there at the Oceanside Brewing Company and stuff like that. Yeah. And now he has even though he's gone, he has that show he started, the Jazzy Wishbone, still goes.
Yeah, definitely. Super cool. Yeah, definitely. So what is your best booking story? Like, either you book somebody or the other way around?
I don't know if I want to tell this one.
Well, just whatever you're comfortable
with. I know. Well, I can't tell that one. It's the best booking story too, so now I have to think of a different one.
We're getting the second best. Settle.
Yeah, dude, the first one's so good, but I can't. It will literally shoot me in the foot. Are
you going to put it in your book?
In my book? I don't know how to read.
Well, someone will write it for you.
Yeah. Just some of the bookings, like with Chris and I, with when we were doing our drive-up comedy, it was so much to be proud of. We were like in unexplored territory of how to even put these shows on outside. Sure. This all was happening like during COVID. Me and a friend started these outdoor shows, and our bookings were, our first headliner's dead now, Neil Nanda. He was our first headliner. Wow. We had Matt Rife was one. He headlined one of our shows. Like, now the dude's like booked out for a year and making $50 million a year or whatever. Like getting Brian Callen to show up to Mavericks Beach Club was just like, oh my God. Like, Chris booked him. I can't say I booked him, but it was part of a team. But it was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, we're getting, then that's when that Mavericks thing became like legit for a while. Like, we were booking just some killers.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So was there ever any open mics or shows that were amazing that you just never even were able to get to? That started and then shut down before you even were able to, like, go to?
There was some, like, pink there was, like, when I started comedy, there was some cool one. They were doing a kumite or something like that. It was like death matches with comedy of, like, like set for set and things like that. Wow. So, that seemed like it was supposed to be really cool.
Oh, okay.
Not moving to Austin before I did. Like, I wanted to go earlier. Like, when they were all going, I was like, this is just going to be good. I just couldn't figure out how to do it with my kids. Like, right. Yeah, my one daughter, or my only daughter, she was still in like high school, so it was like, it wasn't possible, but I wanted to go when they all went. Like, when Andrew Tarr and Kyle Dowdy and Brian McDuffie and all those guys went, I was like, oh, this is the move.
Sure.
This is the frickin' move.
Right away.
Yes, I could feel it, because I wasn't scared of COVID. I had no fear of COVID. Like, I was one of the crazies. So my world view wasn't in like thinking about COVID at all. It was like, oh, I could see that this is a big opportunity. It's going to start happening here. Sure. And so that's a regret I've had, is not getting to move there earlier. But I'm proud that I pulled it off and I finally did it.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun.
Oh yeah. So, have you been on Kill Tony or?
I have.
Okay. Cool.
Was on during Skankfest in Houston, and I forgot I even put my name on it, and I was really drunk and on mushrooms and high, obviously. And once again, Jim Pine curse, I got picked first. Didn't know I got picked. I was in the green room, and like Eleanor Kerrigan grabbed me, and she's like, "Jim, they're calling your name." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I ran on stage. They were almost done.
Almost
like they'd said my name enough times. They were like ready to go to the next name. And I ran up there and just did my minute, and then just bombed the interview. Because like nothing's. I didn't ever prepare for the interview. Sure. So I just answered his questions. And it's like, it's like, I have 2 kids that are really well adjusted and successful, and I'm married, and I have a company I own, and like none of that's interesting.
Yeah, you're just being boring.
Yeah, there's just nothing, and I wasn't smart enough to take cues if they were there because I was drunk and whatever. Like my set was really good. I've never seen it. It's never been released.
Really?
There's a comic that was there that's this guy Eric, who's sometimes the sharpest guy I know. He videoed part of my set, so there is a video kind of me, but it's never been released.
Wow.
I dropped mushrooms out of my pocket during the interview. Irish Fear's like, "Dude, you dropped your mushrooms." I was like, "Oh shit, thank you." That's a shit show. Yeah, that was a legendary night. That's the night me and Tim got in a fight, like an argument. And, oh my god, that's the night that Travis Scott, where all those people died in Houston. I was in Houston, and there was like that rap show happening where those people all got trampled. Is it Travis Scott?
Yeah,
was
Travis
a guy?
Scott.
Yeah, Travis Scott had like some concert. It was all demonic or whatever, and people got killed and. That was all that exact same night. It was the energy. Night. The energy in the air of Houston was wild.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember asking you a few times, like, is it up online? And I had no idea that it's still not up.
Gas Digital owns it. That's like Skank. Legion of Skanks is Gas Digital. Gas Digital records all the shows, and then people pay to watch them if they're not there. So I'm guessing that the second show, because the first show got released for that week. The first Kill Tony got released. I'm guessing the second one somehow is owned by Gas Digital instead or something, and just never has. I've looked and looked and looked, and I've never could find it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The first one's there, not mine.
Well,
Yeah. And now I sign up every week again. Now I'm in Austin, I'm in Austin signing up. You sign up to Mothership, and then you walk across the street and you sign up for Kill Tony. Yeah, it's crazy.
Cool. So what's the worst thing about comedy right now?
What's the worst thing about comedy right now? It's so hard to say that because everything's so good with comedy. Comedians trying to police other comedians, like cancel other comedians. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't care unless it's like not for jokes. Like I don't think you should ever be canceled for jokes. That's crazy. Like for comedians, because maybe you just fucked up. You know what I mean? Like if you do things off stage, like breaking laws and shit, that's whatever. That's fine. But I do not like comedians policing other comedians for jokes. I think it's just shitty.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So have you ever been in a car accident?
Yeah, probably. Nothing. Yeah, I've been in a couple, but never like hurt. Never even like a little hurt. like I've hit some people. I've been hit. All good.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So do you have any merch?
No merch for me. Buy weed from me.
Well, there you go.
Buy weed.
It'll last forever. Your memories, not the weed, obviously. Don't be crazy. So, what do you think of this whole comics? Are recording their sets and then they get heckled and they shut down the heckler and then they post it on social media and then other people's, the general public think that, that's what comedy is, or whatever. That whole cycle. What do you think about that?
Is there anyone specific, or is this like about
just like
Natalie Cuomo's thing, or no?
I don't know. Just a thing in general.
I mean, hecklers are like the worst part of, one of the worst parts of comedy is like people heckling. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to play, like, clip and do whatever. I don't really care what people do.
Right. But are you doing it?
No. I don't post anything. I just bought a camera. So I should be posting here soon. Joe Grill is going to help me learn to edit my stuff and do all that. So I'll be videoing myself all weekend. I've done 5 sets already and videoed 0. I hate setting a camera up, dude. Okay. I bought a camera before to do all this, and it's like I love comedy so much, and I just want to think about going on stage. That anything before that disrupts me, I don't enjoy that. Like setting a camera up, like I want to be so about getting my energy straight. I want my mindset in the right place instead of like, oh, did I fucking push play? And you know what I mean?
Have you ever like paid for a video of your set that someone else recorded? Like that?
I don't know if I've ever paid. I've definitely gotten people to record sets and got stuff. I would say if I ever won the lottery, I wouldn't change anything except there would be a team that would show up to every time I perform. A team would show up and like put the cameras up and do this, get a 2-camera shot. Maybe they put a mic on me before I walk on, like a lav mic or something. But I don't think about any of it. I don't think about charging any of it. I don't think about putting it away. Yeah. Is it working? How do you use it? I always said if I won the lottery, it's literally that. You'd know I won the lottery because there would be a team following me around, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah. Like he's wealthy. He gets somebody to record his sets.
Yeah, it's a whole team.
Yeah.
Exactly. What do you? Sometimes I think like it would be. I love the brick room, but for example, I think sometimes it would be cool because like it's harder sometimes recording here when it's packed. Mm-hmm. Because like for a little bit, I didn't have a camera stand, and I'd like put my camera way up there
on top of the pictures. Yeah,
on top of the pictures.
Yeah.
And it was a horrible angle.
Oh, was it too? It was a bad. I was just like, I can't believe he's doing all this, and then I never even thought about the angle.
Yeah, the angle was. I mean, it was good. I could still see it, but if I really wanted to post it on social media, I would have to like zoom in and crop. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, a little bit of extra work.
Yeah.
Obviously. It still probably would look like it was from up high.
Yeah.
You can't really take no amount. You would have to like have a camera that's doing like 360 video really to like
get it right,
to get it to where couldn't tell it was up high.
I got you.
But it would be interesting. It would be nice if like there was just
right here
something that you could just. No matter if the room is packed, you could just like have something attached to the wall. You know, just put your camera in there, or your phone or whatever, and just record. And then maybe another angle from over here or something.
Yeah, I mean, you could put like a little shelf or something.
Yeah.
Just do it and then ask for forgiveness if Robert doesn't like it. Just put like a shelf like right there, like right behind you, up high enough over people's heads.
Yeah. And
just boom, like get that angle or stuff. I mean, the back too.
Yeah, it's a little harder because it's actually a brick wall. That's why it's
it's hard.
Called a brick room. Yeah.
Even though it's only that wall.
I know. Who named it? It should be called the.
It looks like a library.
Yeah.
Or like a lawyer's office.
Exactly. Yep. Let's see. So, let's talk. Are you still doing any podcasts?
No, I've stopped all my podcasts.
Okay, but you're thinking of doing a D&D one.
We have it, yeah, we have it. We've actually recorded one
nice.
Where it's just him and I doing, to see how we could pull it off, and it worked well, like putting in noises and sounds and voices. And
wow.
And, it turned out like we did one just to see how it would work, and it was pretty cool. So,
That's super cool.
Look for Oops All Rogues. That's the name of it.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So, if you ever did get famous for another reason, would that would that be good, or you would just rather get famous for comedy?
I don't ever want to be famous.
Oh, you don't want to be famous? Okay.
No, I'm not interested in that. I care about honestly killing. Like, I just want to do so good that people laugh so hard. People bought tickets and stuff. That'd be great, but I get uncomfortable with stuff like that. Like, it doesn't. That makes me really uncomfortable. I used to have trouble saying thank you after a set. If somebody told me good, like a customer told me good job.
Wow.
It took me a long time where I was like comfortable enough to go thank you and just shake their hand. Thank you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I would be like, not really. Like, I messed that word up and all. It's like, just shut up, Jim. Like, just say thank you and be grateful.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I was asking about the best fan interaction, or, yeah. That kind of helps explain that.
Yeah, I'm a fucking character, dude. I used to have trouble with that. Now it's not a problem at all. Like, I don't even think about it. It makes me really happy. That's what I said. Like, I finally am like allowed myself to be like, hey, somebody appreciated you. Just shut up and say thank you.
Right.
And now I've learned to
appreciate. You can still think all those things, you know.
Yeah. Well, I learned that it just wasn't appropriate.
Right.
It was just totally inappropriate what I was doing. Like, I wasn't in the moment with that person. I was too concerned, or my ego, or some bullshit,
Sure.
So, yeah, fame's a weird thing for me. My ego's like, fuck yeah, let's get fucking famous. But I've worked on destroying my ego for so long that, like, I know that's not a good voice.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't do this for that. I don't do this because I want to be rich. I don't do this because I literally love being on stage, telling jokes and having people laugh. I love it so much.
Right.
That's the whole thing. That's the only reason I'm here.
Hell yeah. So
I'm too old. When somebody's booking a 53-year-old white guy, it's because he has 30 years experience.
Sure.
He's an 8-year just out of open micing. Like, I'm not that face. Like, the mothership's not like, we need an old guy who's coming up. Because the old guys are supposed to be like seasoned and salted. They already know everything. They've done it for 20 years. And so, yeah. I'm here because it's like, this is my game, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's no getting famous. I'm never getting. It's not. I don't think any of that's ever happening.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm also like, I don't. I shoot myself in the foot. So, I'm not always like trying to make all the friends you're supposed to be doing, or really just bullshit where just people are fake and all the bullshit. I don't really do that too well. So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess for me too, it would be like nice, not famous, just like you go somewhere and someone's like, the audience doesn't know your name, but like the other comics are like, oh yeah, we know you. Go ahead and do a set.
Yeah.
Or you're already booked, so you're traveling or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I've thought about this,
Okay.
I guess I would, if I was gonna if it was more one like you're gonna get famous for something, I'd rather it be for like a D&D podcast, because then nobody would still know me.
Right.
Like, a couple people might know who I am, and then I would like probably help with my comedy because I might have more followers or that stupid shit to help me get booked more, to get more shows, to do all that. Because that's all I want to do is just perform more. If I'm getting paid, that's awesome. But yeah, it'd probably be like a D&D podcast, not a comedy.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, because D&D's not as popular, so it's like I'll be less famous even if I was famous. It's like nobody knows the cast of D20. Right? Like, people that like watch it, that's it. Like,
which is
like a million people, but out of 360, you know what I mean? It's like even the most popular people on D&D, nobody knows who they are. Like, in the general public, nobody's sworn in them.
Right, and then there could even be like, say it's a video podcast that has audio.
Yeah.
There could be a whole mess of people that only just listen to the audio.
So they don't even know what you look like. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Super cool. All right. So is there anything else you want to talk about today?
No. Oh. You got the questions, baby.
Well, sometimes I just run out of questions, but I just love talking to Jim.
Hey.
What are you gonna do?
How many of these have you done?
You'll be number 80.
80, Jesus. Do you do them weekly or?
Yeah. I was, started podcasting in 2017, but I wish it was like, I have changed the name and then the theme several times. There was times where I was just putting open mic, comedy, and D&D sessions. So riveting stuff.
He was taping our D&D games that he was a part of, and we all forgot that he'd asked that he was taping it. And then one day I went, what are you doing?
It was
you're
like literally the second week.
And I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm taping these. But meanwhile, there's dudes like saying the N-word and fucking faggot and like...
It was audio. You didn't know that they were black.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, and then everybody's like, whoa, you can't be releasing the shit in this room, dude. This is crazy. Like, everybody forgot. He did ask to record.
I unpublished those. And, the waitress Alex, Mitch's girlfriend?
Yeah.
She's like one of the few people that actually listened to it. And when I had to stop, she was like, what happened to that D&D podcast? I just give her the bad news.
Yeah.
That's the only person that I ever knew in real life that actually missed it.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So we had at least one fan. You only can get big after one fan.
Yeah.
But do you think now, wanting to do a D&D podcast, are you going to censor yourself? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was like, we didn't know. Okay, you said you were recording. I'm not.
Just to think of all the random.
But it was like everybody forgot. Right. And then people were talking as a room full of comics does, and they get very graphic or very sexual or very whatever, like just saying the wild racist shit, whatever. Right. And that's I mean, because that was, if they knew it was being the whole time, it would have been a different people talking, I think.
Sure.
So yeah, I censor myself. I have to.
Okay.
Because I can't speak openly. Like, yeah. People freak out over sounds. So you can't just make the sounds you want.
Do you ever think as a society we'll get to a point where people won't freak out? Yeah.
Well,
are we moving towards that or away from that? Or is it more like a cycle?
Things seem to be in cycles. So I would say cycle. But it seems to me as if we're having some type of consciousness shifting as a human species, because you watch a lot of it's unnatural, but like we watch, people don't care if other people are gay anymore. Like where when we were born, that was a big deal. And in some countries in this world, they'll kill you for it.
Yeah, still now today.
Yeah, today. But in this country, no. And it's like, I really don't want to hear people tell me, like, yeah, but it's like, no, dude, everybody's accepting. At the worst you're going to get is a knot in my face. Like, just don't do it in my face. Like, whatever. Like, so I think we are, because I think we're getting evolved. Like, as much as we're told about racism, like, no. It's not like people might, but every race is racist towards something or someone. And I think in an act to make us all get separated and to divide us, it's all being pushed to like the mainstream of like, oh, it's so prevalent. It's like, we had a black president twice in a row. Things are different.
Right. I think but the bottom line is that it really what it is a lot of times is the class difference.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the richer you get, the more you're like wanting people to have all this chaos and distraction, and have people forget that the rich are just getting richer and richer and richer, and fewer and fewer of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's our racism is classism disguised as racism and homophobia or whatever else they want to bring up. Right. It's all about the class, 100%. You nailed it on the head.
Yeah, and like the American dream is like any good dream. It's not it's not really realistic.
Now it's not because of inflation and government regulation, and if the American dream, I just did this as a joke. The American dream now is like move to Nepal and teach transgender basket weaving. And there's like US aid will give you like $1 million a year to run that program for them in Afghanistan or something. Like that's the weird, crazy money flowing out of our government right now. Like trans bath, I don't know, it's just wild shit. Dude, we were giving $5 million a year for, I believe it's Pakistan, to have Sesame Street.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, dude.
So the Pakistan can have Sesame?
So for some reason they need $5 million so they can't just get DVDs of Sesame Street and play them. We somehow have to use our government has to drop all this coin so that I believe it's Pakistan. It's like Pakistan or Afghanistan, one of those. Right. So they can have Sesame Street.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The first Gulf War, and they're like, oh, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. Mm-hmm. And I'm like...
That was the second Gulf War.
That was the second Gulf War.
Well, was it the first when we went from weapons of mass destruction? I thought weapons of mass destruction was after 9/11. Wasn't it? The first one was when we came out of high school.
Okay.
We went to...
Why did we go to war?
We went... the first one...
Kuwait.
They invaded Kuwait.
Yes.
That was the first one.
Sorry. The second... was
WMDs that we made up. So
Exactly. Well, even before that, we built up all these arms, with nuclear arms with Russia, because who was it? The FBI, the CIA were exaggerating the numbers that Russia was building.
It would have been CIA, probably.
Yeah, CIA. Yeah, that makes sense. FBI.
Well, there's thousands and thousands and thousands, and we've had the nuclear proliferation, and it's taken from like 5 to like tens of thousands of them. We are down to like 2,000 or something now, nuclear arms each.
Yeah, but we're not going to get that money back.
Well, it's like, did that money even build nukes? Or was it just all black budget money that's going to something else for some underground,
Sure.
Like that money, that $5 million going to Pakistan for Sesame Street isn't going for Sesame Street. It's a payoff for something else. Saying it's for educational purposes to give the kids in Pakistan Sesame. You know what I mean? Like, right. It's not. It's all just ways to hide money to other shit. I mean, they were finding out how fast shrimp run. That was a couple $1 million. Like a study to see how fast shrimp run. It's like, no, you're giving money to something else, but you're just writing on the line like, oh yeah, we're doing projects for shrimp speed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably like a small portion of that actually went to that.
Maybe. Yeah, they gave like $100,000 to some students at some college.
Yeah, you talked to the people actually getting the money. Like, we didn't see no $5 million. Or
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know where all those questions came from, but yeah.
I don't know.
I could talk forever about this shit. I'm Johnny Conspiracy, dude.
Well, just trying to I guess a lot of a lot of things there's a lot of conspiracy theories you should believe in because history has shown
they're not theories.
That they're not theories. Yeah. They actually were real. Mm-hmm. So, definitely, it's interesting. Even in the moment, I'm like going, I don't totally believe everything that's going on, but it's just easier to just go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It really is easier, and I'm so deep that it affects my life. Like there's no going along with it. I can't watch movies anymore because I see all the programming in it. I can't watch TV shows too much. The programming. I watch freaking sports. I start seeing the programming in there. It's like, I've been. This is 30 years I've been in the game of conspiracies.
Right.
When I was looking at dollar bills, why is there an owl in the upper top corner, dude? What's that about, bro? And what's the all-seeing eye on the pyramid for? And why did it say Ortus Nordum, whatever? It's like New World Order on it. And who's the Federal Reserve? That's a government agency. No, it's not. It's a private bank called the Federal Reserve that loans us our money. Like, what? Dude, I'm deep. It's definitely ruined part of my life because it's I just know how corrupt everything is, and then nobody wants to hear it. So people are like, "You're a downer. Why are you gonna be?" It's like, cause people are killing children. God.
Right, yeah. People say they want to stop human trafficking, sex trafficking, or whatever. but really we actually wanted to solve those problems. We would like decriminalize sex work, and that's just the start, right? Like, there's so much.
They're adults. Let them do that. Yeah.
And also, like, kind of paired with that, we should look at other countries and like maybe figure out a way to like fix our healthcare system. You know, because there's so much overhead and corruption. The government like pays for stuff even though they know they're being overcharged. And
that goes back to the early 1900s. The Flexner Report was paid for by the Rockefellers, and this the Flexner Report came out and basically was saying like all the natural medicines were like voodoo. So then you had to have like accredited medical schools, and that you couldn't make any claims about any like these natural remedies. And that was the start of the taking over and creating this healthcare system, which they always use the word, and then it's the opposite, because it's not a healthcare system. It's a sick care system. It's about getting you sick and then making money off you sick and then kind of getting rid of the symptoms. But we don't want you to ever be super healthy or they're never going to make money again. Right. So,
and also it kind of goes in the same line of they used to build things to last, and then they realized, we have to like
planned obsolescence, or is it planned obsolescence?
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes no sense. But then you're bitching about the planet and we're destroying everything, and so we'll make a desk that lasts 75 years again,
right?
Which we can.
Yeah, and make like electronics that can be recycled.
Sure. Yeah.
Like so many things are just. So what if it's I mean, I don't know if I could go without my electronics, but in theory, the thing is to do is like make it to where you can more easily recycle it. Like
they're made for money to make money. Exactly. They're not made for us. No. They make it so we'll buy it, but then you need a new one. You got to pay for this, and money destroys this whole world. Not greed, money. And we only have money because we can't trust each other. Right. If we trusted each other, we wouldn't have. Money is just a way of saying, here, you can trust me. Like, and now give me that. And instead of just you making blankets and giving them people that need blankets, right. It's like, no, we need money to, because this guy might just take my blankets and then he's going to sell them. And, right. Once we can learn to trust each other, we'll be better.
Yeah. So do you have hope for the future?
Oh yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. It might be ugly for a while even. I don't know, but absolutely have hope, because humans are inherently good. We're inherently good. It's not like we've needed to be programmed to act good. Like that's in our base model. Everybody has inherently be good. Yeah. And then usually environmental things outside of them start to change them.
Sure.
And then sometimes it's just people. When you get billions of people, you're going to have psychopaths. And if we had a healthier society, I think we'd be able to see them. Yeah. But we have such a sick society that everybody tries to be a psychopath so they can be the next CEO, or, I'm going to run my company with an iron fist and just care about profits and, fuck my employees. It's like, that's how our world kind of pushes to, like, if you want to be successful, you got to, like, be ruthless.
Right.
We don't have to
start valuing art and creative expression and helping each other.
Yeah, just trusting each other. And we're very divided right now. But I think we're very close to being not divided at the same moment, because it's not natural. It's not a natural thing to happen.
Yeah, it's like this wave. We make progress, and then people want to tear that progress away and go back to what it used to be. Mm-hmm. But probably gonna be able to come back.
We'll see. Like you said, it's all cyclical. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Alrighty. So that's.
I'm Jim Pine.
Yeah. So how do people find you online?
My phone number is 85.
I said online.
Jim Pine Comedy on Instagram. That's about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice. I have a show that I run in Austin, Stood Up Live. We have one here too. It's a dating show, and then you can follow Stood Up Live ATX, and then or Stood Up ATX, and then also me and Tim Hill are starting a show this month too.
Oh yeah.
In a dispensary. Imagine that, me and Hill in a pot shop. with a comedy show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for doing the podcast. We'll end the podcast and then do a quick promo.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Comedy or Worse. Bye.